This week, the tiny Pacific island of Guam has been all over the news. It's home to 2 U.S. military bases and is often called the tip of the spear for its strategic importance in America's operations in that region. However, the political situation on Guam is almost never ever mentioned. That there's an entire movement which believes Washington oppresses the native population of Guam. RT's Alexei Yarashevsky has the story.
Since North Korea reportedly threatened to fire missiles into the direction of Guam, the small Pacific island has understandably been in the spotlight of the mainstream media. A lot has been said about Guam, located some 7,000 miles off the west coast of the United States, home to 160,000 residents, 5,000 of which are U.S. military personnel, and stationing 2 U.S. military bases. What you would not hear on your TV is that there's also a long-standing dissent on the island against the U.S. military presence. After 4 centuries of being a Spanish colony, Guam was occupied by the U.S. in 1898 as part of the Treaty of Paris, which effectively ended the Spanish-American War. For the next half a century, it was ruled by the U.S. naval governor, who banned the native Chamorro language from being taught or spoken. In 1922, the Supreme Court also ruled that the U.S. Constitution did not apply to territories like Guam. And all that time, the natives of the island had been sidelined in just about any decision. Last year, Guam's governor, Eddie Calvo, even suggested a plebiscite to determine his land's future: statehood, status quo, or independence. He specifically said that this American territory was not enjoying democracy or the right to determine who the people's leaders could be. Just a few months later, though, the idea sank into abyss, with the governor himself suggesting that, despite waiting for this moment for hundreds of years, the referendum was not meant to happen just yet. There's even a commission on decolonization established on Guam, which explicitly states in its manifest that despite certain rights and protections were given to the island's residents in 1950, it's effectively ruled by those on the Capitol Hill. And that, due to its strategic placement and small size, Washington would not even consider changes to Guam's political status. It's not too hard to see why. When the first talk of U.S. military presence at Okinawa in Japan to be halved came about, the Pentagon thought of relocating almost 9,000 troops to Guam. Local activists protested and managed to keep this number at just under 5,000, as well as scrapping the plan to see part of the island used as a firing range. And this came after years and years of protests and borderline despair by many activists on Guam to change things, as signified by this 2010 interview by one of the leading anti-militarization activists on Guam, Melvin Wonpat Borja, with Democracy Now! He said then that his people were not even given an opportunity to say no to military bases expansion, and that they were forced to accept whatever the U.S. government decided to do. But now, with the attention focused on the island again, the island, which in the eyes of many is nothing but a mix of military bases and luxurious hotels, maybe the Guamanians' fight for self-determination will receive some kind of new boost. Alexei Yarashevsky, RT, reporting from Washington, D.C.